Why do two reps with the same product and the same training get different results? And I can already hear all the excuses. I can feel the eye rolls. Oh, it's the territory, it's the opportunity, they were given better accounts. I've heard them all. I've actually said them. Like, I've been the one who said, this person got the better accounts, and that's why they're doing better than me. But if it were true, why is it that when I was at the payroll company, an individual who had a strictly prospecting territory, no referral partners, why did he make it to President's Club when the others who had those partners didn't? You see, it comes down to one thing, and that one thing is mindset. My name is Brandon. I've been in sales for almost a decade now, and I've sold in 3 different industries. Today's episode is going to be about mindset, which is one of my favorite topics. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let's get into it. So what is mindset? How do we define it, and what does it mean in sales? I'm actually going to pull from Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, to help define some terms here. You see, she argues that there are 2 frameworks that we operate from, either a fixed or a growth mindset. A fixed mindset would look at something like rejection and interpret that as, I'm not cut out for this isn't for me. And reps that end up operating under that, those are the ones, unfortunately, that burn out. A growth mindset is going to look at something like rejection as an opportunity. It's a chance to revise your pitch or maybe perfect your prospecting. You see, it's all feedback and it's an opportunity for us to get better. Mindset in sales, and especially a growth mindset, it's not just about affirmations and positive thinking, though. It's about resilience and grit and being adaptable. It's the lens that we view things like quota, setbacks, objections through. And if you view all of those things as a negative or as a challenge, that's not helpful for a long-term career. So embrace the growth mindset, embrace the challenges. Speaking of challenges, let's talk about some mindset traps that can kill a sales career. I think the first is fear of rejection. You see, fear of rejection will end up leading you to not wanting to make calls, not wanting to do follow-up because you don't want to hear someone tell you no. The problem, though, is by not making the calls, by not doing the follow-up because you're scared to hear no, well, now you're going to have a shallow pipeline, you're not closing deals, you're going to start missing quota, and ultimately, I don't know how else to put it, it's just not going to work out for you. In the beginning of my sales career, I hated door knocking with a passion. And really the only way that I got over it was by doing it over and over and over again. You have to embrace the no and understand that every no puts you that much closer to a yes. Short-term thinking, what I mean by that is focusing only on today's quota and not building relationships. I see this happen with new reps, especially toward the end of the month. They want to get on calls and sell on every call. They want to sell a product and they get linear focused on making that sale and hitting quota. The problem is, especially in my industry, we're very relationship driven and like there's ongoing sales. And you can easily burn bridges if you approach a customer who's already buying from you or maybe already even bought earlier in the week and you're getting on the phone trying to pitch them on some product. Focus on building the relationship, focus on building the routine and the habit, and you won't have to make those calls. Next mindset trap, scarcity mindset. So a scarcity mindset means you believe there are only a certain amount of deals available to be had, and you have to capitalize on each one because you're not going to get another opportunity. Unfortunately, what it leads to is discounting, underselling on value, and chasing bad deals. If you're just trying to discount to get every deal or any deal possible, it leads to bad deals. When I was at the payroll company, especially during our selling season, I was trying to sell to everyone. It didn't matter what size company they had. It didn't matter what they were looking for. It didn't matter what they were interested in. They had a pulse. I was trying to sell to them. The problem with that, though, and what that led to was a lot of deals that never ended up closing. You get a lot of signed contracts, but they never actually activate the product. They say that they're interested, and then you never hear from them again. And while, yes, this happens in every industry, if you're trying to force deals, it's going to happen more often. The last mindset trap that I'm going to bring up is ego. And I've seen a lot of reps spiral out because of ego. And basically, what that means is you think that you're so good that you don't need any more coaching, so you're just going to ignore it. You don't need any more training because you already know everything that there is to know, and no one's feedback is useful because you're already so good. And I get where it comes from because reps that do very well get praised very highly, and that ego can start to set in. The problem is that when it does, when you start ignoring the feedback and the training and not being critical of your own process, the exact things that led to your success start breaking down. Just to recap the mindset traps real quick. You've got fear of rejection, short-term thinking, scarcity mindset, and ego. We just talked about some mindset traps to avoid, so let's talk about some helpful shifts, some different ways to think about this industry or this career. The first one, the fear of rejection, is what we talked about. I'm going to reference back to an interview that I did with my friend Anjanette, Miss South Bay. I really like her quote. She says, "I viewed every rejection as redirection," meaning that no is just a next opportunity, not a failure. Every no puts you that much closer to a yes. Quota pressure is another huge drain or strain on mindset. If you can shift the focus of quota to instead be focused on building a process or building your sales process that delivers results, quota becomes, I don't want to say it's non-existent, but quota becomes much less stressful. This is one of my favorite mindset shifts and has helped me in my role that I have now. And that is, yes, we call it sales calls, but if you can view it as a consultation where you're diagnosing whether or not your company, your product, or your service is a fit, the calls become much less intimidating. And you're building long-term value, not just a short-term win. So in your mind, make the shift. Yes, I'm a salesperson. Yes, I'm in sales, but really what I'm doing here is I'm consulting. This next one is a hard one, but I like it. And it is the fear of failure. You see, I think we don't want to try things because we're scared of failing. But if you can embrace every failure as a learning, then it makes it that much more palatable and you're able to come back better next time. Even my journey here creating content and building the sales armory, I get a lot of those feelings coming up like, "Oh, I don't want to fail. What is it going to mean if I don't keep producing? What if this video doesn't do well?" But even if it doesn't do well, number one, I'm not going to die. And number two, I can learn something from it. How can I make it better the next time so that it is a success? I think that one is the hardest, but if you can shift in your mind that failure is just an opportunity for you to learn something, you'll be that much better in the long run. Let's talk about how you actually build a growth mindset, a resilient mindset. For me personally, my daily routine has become everything. And I think putting yourself in the right headspace, especially at the beginning of your day, can help you through your day. So for me, it's very important that I work out in the morning. I love the way I feel when I'm done working out. It puts me in the right headspace. I listen to my favorite music. I move some weight around. I move my body, and it's just a great way to activate before I log on for the day and before I face all of these other challenges that we talked about. Community is important. It's very important to surround yourself with other people who are focused and prioritizing the same things that you are focused on. So if you have great mentors around you, other people who are interested in progressing, whether it's in their career or their life, that's very healthy. Recovery is a big one that I promote to my team, especially with what we do, all those different pressures I just mentioned. You need to have a way to decompress whether it's exercising, journaling, reading, some habit that allows you to get into a headspace other than being focused on work, on quota, on these metrics. You need to be able to recover in order to sustain a long sales career. And speaking of long sales careers, the last tip I have for building that mindset is understanding that this is a marathon, not a sprint. If you think about your career just in month terms, I have to hit this month, this month, this month, and everything is this month, it is going to take a toll. And I've seen rep after rep burn out because they don't take that long-term view. They're chasing the quick wins, and they don't view it as a career, they view it as a job. Running an effective sales call, cold calling, objection handling, that can all be taught. But without the right mindset around why we do those things in the first place, reps burn out. Hopefully this was helpful. My name is Brandon. If you found this video valuable, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time in the Sales Armory.